how to really get started with a multifamily property, where we are able to get a address of the property, but nothing else. We do not get anything like no P&Ls, no rent rolls yet, but we just got the address of the property from our broker, the relationships we have developed, or we got it from the seller itself through doing some campaigns, texting campaigns, or, the cards or the letter campaigns and things like that. So the biggest thing is, as a syndicator, as you know, this is a whole show about multifamily investing and syndication, not buying it. Well, you could buy duplex, fourplex, sixplex, eightplex, which is true. That is the way to do it into multifamily at a smaller scale. But if you want to really, really grow your business and scale it up, I would highly recommend that you do multifamily. Go for 16 units, 100 units, 200 units. You might ask me, Vinny, oh my gosh, I don't have the money. I don't have the funds to do it. But that's okay, because what you can do is there is ton of money around you, with your colleagues, with your family, with your relatives, with everybody around you. Ton of money is there, which is not getting good returns. They are able to put in CDs or stock market, or they are able to put what you get like in the checking account or saving account. It's less than 1%, 0.15% per year. So there are avenues that lots of people, if you share with them that they are looking for equity partners who would like to invest with you in the real estate, and tell them it's commercial real estate, not single family, not retail sales, but multifamily apartments in per se, because that's where the world is going. That's where USA is going. Being a renter's nation, the millennials and the baby boomers, millennials are liking portability. As you know, they want to really take time to not own a home, but be able to live in nice B or C plus or B, A minus communities where there is portability. There are, the amenities are there, where there are swimming pools and a nice health center, and, maybe even a nice, yoga place and all those things like that. So essentially, multifamily is the way to go. And that's where I talk about syndication world, because that's what I've been in. I've been doing it for last 10, 11 years where we've done 26 syndications quite nicely. And we have closed the circle on 10 that we bought, we managed, and then we sold also, and returned to our investors about 18 to 24% per year. Well, a couple of them we even did at 43% per year returns, 43.3, 64.6% per year also. But those are far in between, but majority of them are like making 18% or more, on the cash that they give, invest into the multifamily syndication. I love this field because it's SEC governed, Securities and Exchange Commission, and there is a complete transparency and fiduciary responsibilities for a syndicator to take care of the investing dollars of the investors as Class A members, and then Class B members are our, company, management company, and so forth like that. So essentially, when you get that address, you got to be sure that you are looking into the places, the emerging markets, I call it, where there are jobs, and jobs, where there are Starbucks coming, big box offices are coming, Walmarts are coming, new restaurants are being opened, new motels are open, and things like that, because these big businesses spend lots of money, thousands and maybe millions of dollars, to really do research, because once they move into that area of the big metro cities in the tertiary markets are far away from the metropolis markets, or adjoining markets. They are the ones who really can give you the kind of perspective. If the jobs are coming in if the jobs are coming in, guess what? With the jobs come household. With the jobs come, the families who'll be working in those warehouses or factories or, light industrial or office, complexes or retail centers. So that has been the real, premise of my career into this syndication investing world for the last 12 years. I became broker 2004 in California. I live near San Francisco. That's why you see the background here in my podcast and the Facebook lives and things like that. I like to say, I'm here from California and I'm able to do it remotely. That's the best part also I want to talk about. Maybe next week, we'll talk about how to operate multifamily, multi-million dollar operation, like over $200 million, worth of real estate remotely from, one location. And all the assets are, other states than California, just because the numbers don't work, the cash flow numbers and things like that. So let's go back to that, the 2.5 hour session that I did recording this week. And the big thing was that we want to make sure we are looking in the right markets, the emerging markets. And there are lots of different sites that you can go to, websites to just do so much work right from your office. Your virtual assistants can do it, your team members can do it, you can do it, to find where should the acquisition should be. And then once you find that area, it could be one or two or three emerging markets. I really promote that, not to stick in one market, but have maybe three. And then again, I know market is kind of tight right now. Lots of people give up when the market gets tight, when there is more, demand and there's less supply. A lot of people, they are not persistent. They are not thinking in the game that, if I get out of the game, I will never get back into the game. So I believe that people who are really successful are the ones who then get a little bit harder working. They look at a lot more deals. They underwrite a lot more deals. Like in my case, I did 92 deals I got in like 4 or 5 months in Atlanta area. And I underwrote 45, my team and I want to give them full credit. Who I am is a combination of lots of people, under my organizations and so forth. They do lots of work, and I'm the systems guy, I'm the organizer and the CEO of the businesses. But the key thing is, you got to underwrite lots and lots of things. 45 underwritings we did, best and final. We put LOIs, we did interviews with the sellers, with the brokers and all, and 4 best and final, and I lost all of them. I was number 2 on 2. And then on the other 2, I never got anywhere close to it. They were like 13 people, 13 parties in one and 9 in another, I think, bidding for the same properties. So the thing is, you got to always make sure that you are persistent. You're not giving up. You're having the positive attitude, and make sure that the failures lead you to successes. Success is always around the corner. I've always felt that in my motivational speaking and all the things I teach, and I've been living it for the last 40 years in this country. The big thing is that if you have your right attitude, if you have the right premise and the right foundation and right gumption and all right things to really crush it in the business, you will be successful. You will be successful because that's what it takes. It takes little extra effort, little extra possession. And then that's how, again, it took me about 7 months or so. And now we crushed it and we got $23 million worth of assets in Atlanta. And it was a pocket listing. And I went to get there, 267 units. While I was in the parking lot, my broker said, "Would you sit in the truck? I want to take you somewhere." I said, "Where?" He took me to another listing that he had, and they had put a operating memorandum together for 1 month. They never let me know. But when I went to Georgia, they took me there and I bought that in 1 hour. And that's how things happen. If you're working very hard, luck will come your way. with the people who are working hard. Luck usually doesn't come if we are not in the ball game. We got to be playing the game. To win the lotto, we have to buy the ticket, right? That's the same way. To really be excelling every day, you want to make sure that you are crushing it every day. Have a focus, have a purpose. Like I'm 65, I'll be 66. I'm so excited about the next 25 to 30 years. It's exciting to see that I don't need to work a day, but I love to get morning walk and gratitude and a miracle morning. Some of you have probably read that book. If you have not, please read it and really internalize it, because that gets you really excited about what we want to become one day. I'm looking at some questions too. If I would appreciate maybe Dylan or Elijah can give me some questions if there are, but I'll keep on going. The big thing was, see, once you get that listing or address, you got to make sure that you are doing lots of things, looking at the neighborhood, looking at where this property is, looking through the Bing map and the Google map, and make sure that you are enlarging it to see the deferred maintenance on the roof, and also the wood sidings, and also if it's hardy plank or plastic, vinyl. And then you can also look at the parking lot and the structure, and look at the windows and the landings and the staircases. Are they iron or are they wooden? Just to get the feeling of the complex right there. And then you want to see what the jobs are nearby. Of course, the big thing is, before even we get started in looking at the location or getting property from the seller or from the broker, we need to do our own. As a syndicator, we are spinning several plates. We are spinning the plate of investors. I call it investor relationships, pre-existing relationships with the investors, and teaching them and educating them about who you are and what you do and what your game plan is, and to make sure that they are understanding and feeling comfortable that if you get a deal in the future, that they would like to look into it and then maybe commit to invest with you. So that is a big plate. It's the investor plate. First is actually forming the team of brokers and attorneys, and then of course your partner or somebody with a high net worth person. So that's the plate number one, forming the very, very beautiful teams, big people in your team, and crushing it together. Then the second plate I talk about is the one with building the investors, with having pre-existing relationships and so forth, where they will bring the money to the table. Third plate is underwriting and analysis of the properties that you get. So I really want to stress in this live show that it's so important that we talk to the investors before you get the deal, because SEC ruling dictates that you have to have the pre-existing relationships with the investors before you show them the investment. It's not the other way around. You cannot have an investment locked in and then you start showing that deal to new investors that you have no pre-existing relationships at all. So please be very watchful as to how you proceed in this business of syndication. You want to really follow all the different regulations and laws. And I really like to say my attorney's name, Kim Lisa Taylor, Jean Trowbridge also. Both of them have done wonders for my companies, the two acquisition companies and then two management companies we have. But the key thing is we want to really learn it right. And if you go to syndicationattorneys.com, Kim's website, there are lots of blogs, lots of articles, lots of telecast, interviews that she puts together. And I'm sure it's the same for Jean Trowbridge also. And the key thing is you've got to learn right from the ground up and internalize so that we are doing it correctly. So investors, it's the accredited investors, sophisticated investors, or suitable investors. See, that's the word. Suitable is very, very important to understand also, which I'm talking actually, I just did an interview with Darren, Jay Darren, Gross, and then that'll be also airing pretty soon. But anyway, let's talk about it. When we look at all the deals, okay, do we have, this is which time for, okay, alrighty. So please send me questions. Since I cannot send me questions, I'm just trying to tell my partners, who are also on the call. Since I cannot see the questions, like yes, last week also, I don't know what happened, but I apologize. But that's okay. I think we can crush it. The key thing is that I hopefully am able to give you the value, because you guys are spending your time with me this morning. And I apologize, but give me some thumbs up and hearts and things like that, so that I'll feel good about even though I can't see it. But that'll be okay. But let's talk about, those plates are so very important: the investor plate, the underwriting plate. And then we'll definitely talk about loan origination and qualification. That's the other thing. We that way we find out how big and multifamily that we can afford, or you can afford, with your partner, with your net worth and your net worth combined should be equal to the loan amount and things like that. So all that, actually, I teach that quite a bit in multifamilyacademy.com. If anybody would like to know more about it, multifamilyacademy.com. Or we are also giving the underwriting, which has taken me so long to put together, and put different things into it. Very extensive underwriting. We are giving it free actually now, and that is for DEAL dot multifamilyacademy.com, if anybody would like to take that one, as a free thing from us. And again, there are lecture series and things like that if you want to learn more about it. And if you would like to know more about me, it's vinneychopra.com. V as in Victor, INNEY, Chopra, CHOPRA, Chopra.com. And you could Google me also. This way you could come to some of the links and so forth. If you email me, myself or my team would be definitely responding back to you and helping you with where you are. And if you are in the early stages or middle or end, or if you're a wholesaler or flipper or doctor or attorney or like that, we have cultivated almost 130 investors now in our two companies, where they are able to invest with us. And then organically we have done it. We didn't have website or anything. Now we are building one and so forth. But if you would like to know more about investing also with Vinney and my companies, you could say, just email me at vinny@vinneychopra.com or info@vinneychopra.com. But let's talk about it. I think the biggest thing I want to talk about today is, like, I'll do this series on the Facebook, like I'm recording also for the university, as well as for Academy, and also for my other podcast shows and things like that. The big thing is to find the right area. It's so important, because as a syndicator, you want to go after jobs, and jobs. And you could go to vinneychopra.com. I have an ebook, free ebooks, several of them, where you can download them and learn where the websites are, where you could go and find out about the area. If you're looking at if this area is emerging or not emerging, what's the inflow of the families coming in that particular segment of the market, how many people are going out, how many building permits have been issued so that there is not excessive inventory, how much is the absorption. And then, of course, you want to see the rent comparisons of the address that you got. Go on apartments.com. That's 81% of the residents or future tenants. We call it residents in our communities, but they are the ones who will do Google Google, if somebody's moving to Atlanta in a certain area, they're going to say apartment for rent in whatever area, right? And then you will find out apartments.com is right up there, apartmentratings.com, all these different websites will show up. The other thing I like to really look at when the address is given to me by the broker is to look for Facebook. You could put the address and then put the Facebook. By even saying the address, you will come to the name of the apartment complex right away. Then you could space it and put Facebook, or you could say rent comparisons. You could do all these links, because Google their crawlers go through all these different sites and they put them all together for us and give us to us very easy way to look into. The other thing I wanted to talk about was also, as we soften the investors, as a syndicator, you want to soften the investors. You want to keep on gathering so many articles, every article that you can find about the area that you're going to be purchasing, acquiring multifamily in. You want to put lots of economic growth reports, job growth reports, the companies coming in, all the different things. And I really believe, and I've been using this very effectively, I like to go and find from the Marcus Milley chaps, ARAs, HFF, CBRE, Transwestern, Grace, all these people, Cushman and Fields, all these people, the multifamily magnet, brokers, their websites, if they have an operating memorandum of a property that they just sold recently in that particular market, and if they have one operating memorandum, you would see that it's like 35 to 55, 80 pages big, quite a bit. And then the brokers put all the data and studies that they have gathered into the operating memorandum. That is so true, because they have to put together this beautiful pictorial view, dress up the property and everything, and also tell the people if the property is in Atlanta or North Carolina, the investors are all over USA or around the world. So they have to put all these different pieces of graphs and data and all those reports. So that's where I find also what were the sources of those reports. Like in my Dropbox for Atlanta, I have maybe 50 different articles that I put together. And it's kind of so funny. When I went to Atlanta to meet, 4 days I spent in 2016, I think. And then, I was sharing my articles on my iPad with the brokers. I was sharing with them, hey, did you hear about this growth, graph, or this growth in Atlanta, or this jobs coming in and this and that. I mean, they were impressed. They were definitely impressed, because they said, Vinney, we don't even have these articles. I said, well, I try to put everything. And I asked the brokers now, my friends that I've cultivated over the 11, 12 years, to provide me the new things. I just got, I think, 5 brand new articles, which it would have taken me quite a bit of time. My broker just emailed it to me and he said, Vinney, hey, they are these articles. So if you train your brokers, hey, send I really am interested. We have the equity raised, and we're going to crush it. I'm a performer. And those language words really go a long way, because the brokers want to sell the property, the sellers want to sell the property, right? So the key thing is for us to come as a strong professional investor, but don't tell them you're a syndicator. Do not tell them that you're a syndicator. You say we have equity, we have investors. That's all you have to say, and they'll be investing in, and I'm the manager of the LLC and so forth. So the key thing is for us to really get the seller, that's the seller right here, and then the selling broker. I always come myself right there next to it. So my selling broker, listing broker, if they ever have a listing, actually many of them don't have a listing, by the way. It's a napkin listing. It's not really on a piece of paper or anything like that. They try to give me the address and all that. Then I ask them to become my broker also. So I asked them, the listing broker becomes buyer broker also, dual agency. Now he's got fiduciary responsibility to the seller and fiduciary responsibility to Vinney Chopra right here. So that really makes a big difference. And you're able to find out the temperature of the seller so quickly, what's the minimum they are going to go with, or what their, different maintenance is. I don't have to have a listing broker here and a buyer broker here. So there is a gap. This gap is the vacuum where what you tell your buyer broker and what you tell the seller tells the listing broker, there could be, a lot of uh, I would say breakdowns and things, and not knowing the motivations and things like that. So anyway, to get the articles going, put them in the Dropbox, and then send these articles to your investors. You got to start, talking to them and sending them emails and so forth, and softening. I call it as softening of the market, where, people are able to do it. Let's see here. Alrighty. Big hola, Vinny from Atlanta. Alrighty. Wow, wow, wow. Well, hi there. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Rakesh. Hi, Dylan. Deal Multifamily. Thank you so much, Dylan. Appreciate you, Elijah and Dylan. Thank you so much. But let's keep on going. Keep on going. The thing is, we got to see that these investors would like to work with you, and they would like to, give you the money, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, if they feel comfortable, if they feel that we are trustworthy, that we are educating them. And that's why our blueprint of the company brochure, the company blueprint, we call it, or the educational brochure. If you will email me, please email Vinny at vinneychopra.com, or info at vinneychopra.com, and say, would you please send us the, market educational brochure? Love to send that to you guys. The key thing is, you want to make sure that you are softening the investors and their, mind and their comfort level with you. And then it's so easy to raise the money. It's so easy. Once you have really trained them and got them and have the pre-existing relationships, and you log them in on your CRM and everything. See, SEC ruling is quite strict. You got to make sure that you are recording and logging, as Kim Taylor says, my syndication attorney, to have procedures and rules that everybody in your organization is following, that when they talk to the investors, and make sure that you're meeting with them several times on the, you could do it Skype, you could do it, you don't have to meet physically, but you could see, through FaceTime, Skype, and webinars and things like that. That's fine. But the key thing is to find if they are suitable. Suitable is the big word. It's accredited, it's non-accredited, sophisticated, and suitable. So there are 4 words that everybody should really understand, in the syndication world, like that. So let's talk about now. We got the area, we got these articles, and then we can send newsletters to the investors also. Get some VAs, virtual assistants. That's huge. Upwork.com, UPW, a lot of you probably know, and the Fiverr.com. I know, I think I have 4, people working right now for me. But at one time I had like 7 or 8 people working all through the world, who were trying to transcribe and video editing and blog writing and research and all those things. I mean, I still remember my very fine student from real estate in Bombay, who was just thrilled to get me. And then he would do complete research study with graphs and everything for $50. For $50. For particular emerging market. So things happen. I mean, if we can just multiply ourselves and, get ourselves focused on how we can systematically get other people involved in the business, it will be really, really wonderful. And our graphic artist, Banavi Papito, is from Philippines, and she's been with us now 4 years, and she charges so reasonably to design all the graphics. She's amazing, with the different graphic logos and marketing and the websites and everything, and all the brochures of our communities and all the different, brochures that we have been put together for my, company. I mean, she has big hand in that. So kudos to Banavi right there. Very, very sharp girl. If you'd like her contact, please email me also, info@vinneychopra.com, or you could text me 925-766-3518. That's 925-766-3518. And we are also getting another service where you could text and we can get in touch with you and so forth. We'll do that also. The biggest thing we are really looking at in my mastermind and inner circle, that I can't really coach a lot of students or mentor a lot of students one by one, but I do have a desire to give everything I have learned into video lessons and templates and everything that I put together, which took me hundreds of hours, thousands of hours I've done in the last 10 years, plus also a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars we have spent in attorneys' fees and others and templates and all. We'll be giving them in our academy, Multifamily Syndication Academy.com, or Multifamily Academy.com, right there. So either way, or VinneyChopra.com, you could go there. So let's just go back to where we were. So we got the area, we found out that this property is good. We found out from the Facebook that the people like it, or even the comments. I won't give too much credence to the comments, because you want to see when were those comments put together on the internet. Only disgruntled residents go and then vent it out and so forth, and also see if the management answered also or not. If the management answered them, then it's great, and go back and look at it. And again, we are looking for value add. We are looking for poor management of the multifamily or apartment buildings. So we will find some lower ratings like 2.3, 3, something like that, and we will move that to 4 and 4.5 as we take over and bring value. A lot of times the questions or people get disgruntled is if the work orders are not done properly, or if they have had some hardship living in that community and so forth like that. But let's move now from there. You got that, you looked at the area, everything is good, you got softened the investors, and now you're ready to get this more into the stage of, okay, let's do the underwriting. Now, underwriting also, you could do quick underwriting to see if it makes sense or doesn't make sense at all. But I really believe in crushing it. It may take 15 minutes, but in the underwriting that we have developed, it's awesome because you don't lose anything. You don't really leave out something that the seller does not want you to know. So there are very, very line items are in our extensive underwriting that you are able to get free, by the way, and if you could just go to DEAL dot multifamilyacademy.com. I think Dylan also put it there. Thank you, Dylan. And you could just say it, and then we'll send it out to you with my video also, 45 minutes. And I think we got another one now for another half an hour. So it's like almost 1.5 hours of free teaching, how to use that tool. That'll really go a long way with a lot of you, getting into this business of investing. See, you could also just get that tool to invest by your money. And then if you want to go further with syndication, which is the way to really do to scale up, if you like to do extensive lifestyle, and so forth, and affecting lots and lots of people, not only in your company, the people that you have, also helping more residents, because if you do apartments, 200 families are affected if we have 200 units as compared to smaller number. And then, of course, we are helping the vendors and their families. And then we are helping more investors coming into the deal. So it's a 4-prong. I believe that, that really helps. We are affecting the economy. We are helping Uncle Sam and everybody, connected. and then yourself too. So that's all together. You can have lots of different ways to help the community, help, and really give it's a noble cause. It's a very noble cause. If we keep that in mind, that what we are doing is worthwhile, it's amazing how the energies flow around you, and the people get together and they're able to bring it back to you, and so much more than you give out. So the more you give out, you get many, many fold back. So let's talk about from the underwriting stage now. I think maybe not today. I know it's been a little bit time. Maybe next Friday, I'll take you through the worksheet, take you through, what we do and what's the process and what are the tabs of our different underwriting tools. Lots of people look at only one segment of it. We like to look at several different ones, and then we see, okay, is this making sense? And looking at the numbers which are at this time, not in the future, because the market is kind of tight. So the sellers are feeling that they can dictate much larger price for their community, and I'm not sure if it's going to even appraise that much. See, if it doesn't appraise that much, then definitely it's going to be kind of pull back. And maybe that'll be one thing that we could look into, how to really talk to lock in a property, and then we ask for repair allowances and things like that, which we did very successfully in few of the properties. It's good that we keep it clean, but if you find more deferred maintenance, and you find that what was projected to you by the broker and the seller, some equations changed when you did the due diligence or like that, then definitely makes sense for us to go back and rework the numbers and put it there so that we can get a big repair allowance. Like in our case, I think we got 450,000 repair allowance coming out in one of the property we bought in Atlanta. So let's talk about due diligence. Now, I think that will be our next thing that we get started. We do the LOI, sorry, letter of intent. Now, letter of intent is again the procedure where we write out in a very professional way what the terms will be of us purchasing it, what's the inspection period look like, how is the financing contingency met, and they need to run the property right. Who's going to pay for the closing costs, the title insurances, things like that. So it's good to have a great LOI, we call it letter of intent, ready with a cover letter also. I really believe that we want to give our best uh, best put our best foot forward. There we go. Yes, on my tongue, and the thing is, that's where we are able to have it ready. As soon as we find the numbers work and so forth like that, we can drop those things in there, let it be seen by the attorney and bless it. And then you are able to put all these numbers, look at it again, and then give that LOI with a cover letter with maybe proof of fund. I don't usually give at that time. Maybe I've done it sometime when it's a hard situation and I know that I have to put some non-refundable money. I've done that. And also recommendation letters. I would say credibility kit is so important for all of us when we are qualifying for loans or getting our proper, our offer to be accepted by the seller or selling broker. The more we tell them, give them the confidence that we are the right party to sell the multifamily to, the quicker and the easier the whole process will be. So that is so very important. And I'm really happy to say that my team and I have crushed every single LOI. We have closed on 100% of all these 26 acquisitions that we have done, and actually 12 of them came in the last 2.5 years. 12 of them. So actually, I was kind of slow starter. Well, also, if you don't have the right people on your team, it slows you down, and things like that. I don't want to talk about it. But the thing is, when I became 100% owner of my businesses, the two that I started in 2014, just a very short time back, I was able to scale up very high, very quickly, because we were able to do it correctly and nicely, and then so forth. And I had experience also. I don't want to take away that, but the thing is that we could do it. It's not a rocket science. That's the other thing I want to talk about. It's not a 200-pound gorilla called syndication. It's not. It's not. And I promise you, once you get into one small one with 60 units, 70 units with the syndication, you will never go back. You will never go back. And especially when you crush the first one, good one, and then you give those returns to your investors every quarter on the quarter. Oh my gosh. I mean, the floodgates will open up. I'm telling you, that's exactly happened with our companies, from one investor who believed in me when I sat in the living room, and we had zero before that, right? So one, and then second and third and fourth and so forth. And I teach all that in my courses, how to go, where to find, what to say, all that stuff, which will make it really, really easy for everybody to do it. And the key thing is, if you get the right education, you will scale up much faster. But if you are really looking for every which way, to get free information, I call it, and then you will be taking much longer. I just definitely want to stress that. And I know lots of, people are putting a lot of money on the table and all that. I believe that you could learn very well, with a small amount, not with, thousands of dollars and things like that, like 10, 15, 30,000, so like that. Anyway, but let's talk about from the LOI stage. Of course, the good part is that I do these shows and everything for entertainment purposes only. I want to mention that maybe I should be doing that in the front of the broadcast, because it's for, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, I'm a syndicator and a broker, and I'm just imparting my knowledge that I've gained from successful coaches, and from different people who have affected my life that way. So the key thing is that we want to make sure that we are doing all these things in sequence, because syndication is probably very easy way to say that is, you got the investors over here, and you have pre-existing relationships. You find out what their goals are, where they invest, and if they would like to invest in the real estate. And then you have the deal on this side from the brokers. You underwrite the deal, and you find out it's the right deal and so forth, put it in a good package and everything. So you are just combining the two, the investors with the deals, and that's syndication. Syndication is joining those two together, and you are the sponsor. You are able to become the manager of the manager of the LLC that's going to purchase the apartment building, which is on this side, apartment building LLC, which I like to change the name of every community, unless if the community is very highly regarded and it's 5 stars and everything like that, then I like to keep that name. And because a lot of people know about it and so forth, so I like to put villas in the front or in the back, but keep the main name right there, like Arbor Pine Villas. I can remember right there. And Albion, by the way, my very first property 2.5 years back or so, in the new company, 192 units. And by golly, that has gone from 8.7 million to almost 12.7 million. My gosh, I can't believe it. In just 3 years, in 3 years, it's gone that high. The value has gone up, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property. If anybody would like to take a look at it, it's info@vinneychopra.com. I could send you the link for that. But the exciting part is that, once you have a great property, it's much easier for the investors on this side to jump and join you very quickly. And that's what happens in syndication. It's finding the right deal and then also having the right investors, suitable investors ready to come with you into the deal. That's syndication. And it's not that tough. It's not that tough because, if you go to, like I said in this broadcast, syndicationattorneys.com, my attorney, Kim Taylor, Gene Trowbridge and Kim Taylor were together, and, they split up, and, both are doing very well. And I wish them lots and lots of luck. Kim was servicing me, so I stayed with Kim, and syndicationattorneys.com. She's got great, great literature. And I hope that you will take this step today to learn more about syndication, because that way you could really ramp up. If you can do 10 units, 15, 20 units with your money, you could do 200 units and 300 units with syndication money. And then you are helping a lot more people in the syndication world, the investors. And investors are also, there are so much people have money around you. It's just that to harness that and put it in a legal way, SEC ruling way, with the exemption 506B as in boy, or 506C as in Charlie, and then putting it together like my new fund that we are doing now, $50 million fund. If anybody would like to invest in the fund, by the way, I would love to invite you to go to www.multifamilyfund.com, or you could email us info@vinneychopra.com, and we'll send it to you. And that's a $50 million fund, which is a 506C, which is with the accredited investors only. And then the good part is that, we'll be purchasing multifamily in different states. So it will be diversified. And also at the same token, we are only raising about 10 to 12 million in the first round. The legal paperwork will stay the same for the whole maturity of the fund, but we are only taking the first round now with only 20% deposit. So I wanted to mention that, if somebody commits like 100,000, they only have to deposit, fill out the paperwork and everything, which is DocuSign. It's so wonderfully put together by my attorneys and so forth. And the good part is that it's going to be, given to you to look through all that with the digital book, and all the website is there, Monil multifamilyfund.com. I can advertise also. That's the other reason I did 506C this time, because this way we can advertise on Facebook, on live, like we are doing now. And I'm doing another show with the Go Abundance. That's going to be coming up next Wednesday. I'm really, really pumped up about it. And then other places, you will see ads also. But the key thing is, we're going to diversify the portfolio, and we have been giving about 18 to 24% so far average. And that's what it's going to be. Maybe, if not 18, maybe 16%, but we always look for what are the best opportunities for our investors, and which really makes sense. And then we go with that, that's how we do it. So I'm so glad lots and lots of people have joined today, lot more than before, and all the way I can see actually Nabas and Sri, and then Sairam, Peter, Lucy, and Muhammad, and Ron, and Patricia Hoyt, everybody. I want to thank every one of you for joining me today. And I don't know if this is going to be, what's the word? I can't go back somehow. Oh, there, I do have it. Before I really finish the whole program today, I want to thank everybody: Sergi, David, Elijah, Mike, Zane, David, Roland, Nick, Cheryl, Chris, Martin, Michael, McDonald, John, Bo. Oh, wow, hi, Bo. Jean and Suresh, and Dylan, and of course Nabas and everybody. Thank you so much, guys. It's 58 minutes I've been talking. It's been such a pleasure to visit with you. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope I added some value to you, and I would love to do it everywhere. I mean, every Friday, 10 o'clock from San Francisco, which is noon Central Time, 12, and then 1 Eastern Time. So please try to join me. And if you can ask me any questions during the week, you could text me at 925-766-3518. Text me 925-766-3518, or you can email me Vinney, Vinney, at VinneyChopra.com, Vinney Chopra, Chopra, just like Deepak Chopra. I know Deepak. We are not too many Chopras in USA. Deepak, I've not met him personally, but know him very well. What a great author and writer and everything. Last name is the same. We might be from the same part of India. I have not explored, but VinneyChopra.com. And thank you so much for joining, and God bless you. And please do, if you want to invest with us or learn from me or my, teams, please do go to DEAL dot multifamilyacademy.com, or you could join the course and you will really, really get so much, thousands and thousands of dollars. I know one of my students said, Vinny, what you provide, I couldn't believe it. He said, it could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to really do what templates and things that you have provided to me. So that was very nice. And so thank you, everybody. And let's have a wonderful Friday. And God bless you all. Talk to you again next week, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.